Hello, it is Thursday, April 4th, 2024. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Thursday crossword today, which means we're going to be solving a puzzle with some kind of interesting or intricate theme. That's usually what happens on a Thursday, and I can't see anything through the grid. Never mind. I don't know what I thought I was going to say there. But in any case, it's a Thursday crossword, and we're going to be solving it. And this Thursday edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Geeta Karudi, Overfull Hitbox, Jake Rodkin, and as always, the indomitable Shoalmaster. So thank you so much to the four of them. They're, of course, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, which means they support this channel. They keep the whole thing going. I'm very grateful to them for that. So thanks so much to those four, but thanks to everybody who, of course, who's a Patreon supporter at any level. I really do appreciate it. And if you yourself would like to join their ranks, you can do so at patreon.com/dailysolve or via the description field link, where you'll find all of the bonus videos available to patrons, including this month's New York Times monthly bonus puzzle, the new Boss Words Themeless League competition puzzle has been released, so I need to solve that. And then all of the videos that went up in March. So thanks if you're a supporter. There's a link in the description field. And thanks as well if you subscribe to the channel on YouTube. That is a big help. And speaking of links in the description field, there's one to the Daily Solve Discord chat server, a nice friendly chat community you can join. All right, let's get on to today's crossword. This is a construction by Kevin Curry, I think his second crossword for the New York Times. It was edited once again by Joel Faliano, and it is a Thursday crossword, so it will be thematic, and the theme might be interesting or intriguing. Let's start solving. Okay, so we have, oh no, actually, sorry, I was going to say we have symmetry about a vertical axis, which is uncommon for an ordinary daily crossword, but not all that uncommon for a Thursday themed crossword. But as I was about to say that, I realized it's not, in fact, symmetrical there. We have a little missing black cell, or you could say over here an extra black cell that breaks the symmetry of the image. It looks like it's maybe supposed to be a chalice or a wine glass or something. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's get there soon enough. They're good to know. They're good to know. Inns, maybe. If you have an inn, it would be good to know someone at a company, for instance, if you're trying to apply for a job there. You have an inn. Apt name for a February 14th baby. I'm not sure. I assume it's something relating to Valentine's Day, but I can't think what it is. I was trying to think of sort of abbreviations of Cupid or something. I don't know. Pressure measurement. PSI, pound square inch? Pounds per square inch? That is a unit of pressure. Let's check the downs. Self-righteous types. Prigs, maybe? If you're priggish, you're sort of, what's the word? I can't even think of any synonyms. But anyway, I think it's probably the answer. You're a bit self-righteous. You're a bit uppity, I suppose. Let's try that and see if this works here. Blank Specs sports eyewear brand. I've never heard of this specific eyewear brand, but REI is a cooperative outdoor goods store in the U.S. It's a chain, and they may well have a brand called REI Specs. I say that because of the sports eyewear thing. They do sell sports goods, but I'm not sure. Vehicle with an underride guard. A sled? Not sure what that is looking for. Chill with. Oh, and it's italicized, which means it's theme related. Okay, not sure about this. I'm not certain this is, in fact, I don't think this is REI actually, because this would be two I's in a row, which looks a bit strange. What about the crosses on inns? Possible solutions. Ideas. An idea could be a possible solution. Origin of the words reindeer and husband. Norse? That seems pretty plausible. Famous specification for a 57 across, and 57 across says Subject of this puzzle, right? Okay. I don't yet know. What was written as annoyed grunt on early scripts of The Simpsons? Oh, it must be Homer Simpson's cry of dope, which he famously yells. Landmark legislation of 1972 for short. Equal Rights Amendment, be legislation introduced, I suppose, in 1972. The U.S. political clue, of course. Hit up. To hit someone up could be to ask them for something. To deal with something is to see to it. I think that's probably right. And right, famous specification for the subject of this puzzle, whatever it is. Shaken, not stirred. I'm sorry, is this meant to be a martini? Oh, I see. The martini glass is just the bit down here. Okay, never mind. I was thinking, what on earth? Are you serving a martini in this incredibly tall bit of stemware? No, it's the martini glass. So this is referring to James Bond ordering his martini shaken, not stirred, and then the martini glass is this little one down here, and then this is maybe an olive toothpick with an olive or something. Can't remember if James Bond orders his martini with an olive. In any case, that'll be that. So the subject of the puzzle is the martini. There we go. So what I wonder about, I'm just curious about this one. 57 across per EB white martini. Oh. There is a famous martini recipe that I think is sometimes attributed to Churchill, but I think a pretty high percentage of quotations attributed to Winston Churchill are apocryphal. But it's something like, the recipe is something like, gin and a wave towards Italy or something like that, or a vague nod in the direction of Italy to indicate, obviously to jokingly suggest just the faintest hint of vermouth. And some martini recipes call for just the martini glass to be washed with vermouth, but otherwise no more vermouth than that. Anyway, I don't know if this is related to that in some way. I don't know what E.B. White said about the martini. Okay, vehicle with an... The reason I mentioned another one is, even though it's attributed to Churchill, is because I'm wondering maybe the thing I'm thinking of was actually said by E.B. White, but I don't know a way to phrase it that would fit here, so it's sort of irrelevant. Okay, let's keep going. Leaves in hot water. Tea, I think. Oh, C2. Didn't I say C2? But then I wrote see it. See to it, maybe, is what I said, and then typed in the wrong words. To deal with something is to see to it. Okay, and then leaves in hot water are tea. Tea leaves, of course. Like the German article das. That's a neuter article. German has 3 genders, unlike many languages that have 2, linguistic genders. So that's what that one is. Okay, 4 down, 1. One part vermouth. Here we go. This is the recipe for a martini. This is certainly a hotly debated topic. 1 part vermouth, and then we'll have gin go in there. And I'm curious if they will include a garnish in this recipe. Nancy in the Grammy Hall of Fame. Nancy Sinatra, there we go, as a singer. Abbott Elementary for 1. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that school, I guess. It's in quotation marks, though, so maybe it's a book or a show or something. I guess if it's a show, it could be a sitcom. Let's try that and see if it works. Blank Back, 2004 Kenny Chesney hit. I Go Back, maybe? I'm not sure. Chuckwalla relative. Iguana, is that a lizard? Sort of sounds plausible. Sounds of Disapprovals, tut, isn't tut-tut. Social stratum could be your caste. In that case, a social stratum into which you're born. Betting recklessly in poker slang. On tilt? That is a phrase I've heard generally. I don't know enough about poker slang to know if it's used in poker, but it could be. let's check the crosses and see. One is seen on the poster for The Devil Wears Prada, stiletto heel, I assume, in this case. I think that's right. I think it's is there sort of a silhouette of a stiletto heel with a pitchfork coming out of it or something like that? I think that might be the poster for The Devil Wears Prada. Or on it, anyway. Lamenting lines, elegies, so, sung in mourning. Okay, prefix with fix. I'm not sure. Things sometimes lined with bubble wrap. Mailers, I guess. As in a kind of envelope used to mail things. I guess that's what that is. Prefix with fix. Not sure. AMC competitor. What is this? Regal. That's a theater chain. AMC is a U.S. theater chain, and Regal is a competitor, I guess. Okay. I'm never sure if when companies like this are competitors and when they're sort of secretly owned by the same company. But I guess in this case they're competitors. Vent feature. A slit, I suppose, could be a vent in clothing or something, or obviously in, a wall. Prefix with fix. Oh, as in to transfix someone with your gaze. There we go. That is the prefix. Screening with a lot of characters. An eye test. You will read many characters on the eye test sheet. Mission involving spirit and opportunity in brief. Mars exploration something. I'm not sure if that's right. Second chances, redos. Oh, Mars exploration rover? That's probably wrong. I'm not certain what this is, what the actual name of the mission is, but there we go. Homophone of a body part and a letter. Oh, I, right? It's a homophone of the body part I and the letter I. There we go. Okay, Ben folds 5, e.g., oddly enough. Well, the oddly enough is a clue that it's not a group of 5 musicians, but perhaps a group of 3, a trio. That may well be right. And I mean, I remember them existing. Ben folds 5. Maybe they're still around. Game show host John Michael. No idea. Garnish with an olive. There we go. Okay, the recipe does include an olive garnish, so I think my suspicion was maybe correct. And apt name for, Val. Maybe Val is a name. There we go, like Val Kilmer. Maybe he was born on February 14th. Probably not, but maybe. Out, I'm not sure. Court hotshot. Oh, a legal eagle. So court, I was trying to think of a tennis ace or something, but no, it's a court hotshot in the sense of a law court of law hotshot, an attorney, a legal eagle goes the phrase. And Dolly, e.g., Dolly was the first cloned sheep. So Dolly is a ewe, a female sheep. Out. You're away. I'm out. I'm away. There we go. That's what that is. As in I'm out of the office, that sort of thing. What Scott Joplin might yell after a spill? Ragtime. Okay, that's a pretty bad sort of dad joke style gag. So Scott Joplin was a composer famous for ragtime music. So after something spills, he might yell, ragtime. It's time for a rag. I need a rag. Very good. For those wanting a summary in internet speak. For those wanting a summary. Oh, TLDR, too long didn't read. So you might have a long explanation of something, and then you say TLDR, too long didn't read, and just have a little short summary for people who didn't read the whole thing. Having muscle pain. Myalgic, that does relate to pain in some way. So yes, I guess you could say if you are having muscle pain, you are currently myalgic, maybe. There might be a more specific meaning to it than that. I wouldn't be surprised, but that's the general idea, I think. Vehicle with an underride guard. Semi-truck. Okay. Underride guard. That to stop people from literally riding under it? I don't know. I have no idea if that's what that is. Maybe this is REI specs. Or maybe it's rec specs for recreation. That sounds more plausible to me, actually. Let's look at the downs. Chill with. Oh, right. Chill with ice cubes. Okay, so this is still part of our recipe. I remember seeing chill with before and I didn't know what it was referring to, but now I do. So, uh, where's our gin? Oh, down here, I bet. Yes, 5 parts gin. Okay, there we go. So what's our proportion here? We have 1 part vermouth, 5 parts gin. Okay, there we go. That's not far from that the Churchillian sort of ratio. Very low on vermouth. Because I think you can have all the way up to what? A perfect martini, which is half and half. Is that right? Could be misremembering that. But yeah, the precise ratio of vermouth and gin in a martini is hotly debated, although I am strongly, personally, in favor of gin rather than vodka in a martini. So I approve of this particular choice in the crossword. All right, kind of candle at a wedding ceremony. I don't know. Coastal retreat. Ebb, as in the ebb and flow of a tide. So the tide retreats from the coast, it ebbs. I think that's probably the case. Oh, right. And this is our quote about the martini from E.B. White. I still don't know. Accessory in many Rembrandt self-portraits. I don't know. I'm sure I've seen at least 1 or 2 self-portraits of Rembrandt. What would beret maybe? That sounds right to me. Let's look at the crosses. Baseball Hall of Famer De Rocher or something. I'm not sure how to, I don't know. Organization authorized by the 16th Amendment. I don't know. This might not be beret because my first guess here is oh, never mind. Wow, that was very strange what I was about to say. I'll tell you anyway, to make myself seem silly. I was about to say, well, this might not be beret because my first thought here was this could be the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, because I suspect the 16th Amendment is the one that allowed for income tax. And then for some reason in my brain, I thought, oh, but that doesn't fit with beret. But it does. So I don't know what I was doing there. This still could be wrong, but it's what my suspicion is, and it does work with beret. If you're giving orders, you're bossy. Oh, Leo De Rocher, maybe? It's a name, could work. And spot markers are X's, as an X marks the spot on a map. Okay, so elixir, probably. E.B. White said of martini, elixir. Could be elixir of the gods or something. I mean, that's the sort of thing people say about drinks they like. Kind of candle at a wedding ceremony. Is this ice cubes? Definitely. Chill with ice cubes. I would think that's right. Well, I don't know. Not sure about that. Skier's convenience. A T-bar is a, you grab it to go up the mountain. It's a way of being transported up the slopes. Alternative to an energy drink, perhaps. I don't know. Coffee? I'm not sure. Can't be tea because we have that in the grid already. Soften with down. To tame down? What would end with E? Soften with down. I'm not sure. This looks like Higgins. Game show host John Michael Higgins. Okay, I've never heard of this person, but it's definitely a name, and I suspect it's right. Early DVR. Oh, TiVo. I think this was in the grid maybe yesterday the other way around. So maybe it was TiVo as a DVR rather than DVR as, the opposite was clued. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was TiVo. I can't remember. Anyway, corner of the term ambient music. Brian Eno. There we go. Wow, it's actually been a while since we've seen Brian Eno, the official male solo artist of the New York Times crossword, counterpart to Yoko Ono, who, if I had to name one of them, the official artist, full stop, I would say it would be Yoko Ono. She is more common, I would say, than Brian Eno, but Brian Eno still a crossword standby. So there we go. All right, it could be the English National Opera as well, but I've never seen it clued that way, but which would be understandable for a US-based crossword. Certain soccer kick. Not sure. What about this one? Tone down, to soften something, to tone it down. All right, so a certain soccer kick is a toe boot. I have no idea. I don't know. All right, let's keep looking. Real gem. A real gem is a find Blank Game, sci-fi classic Ender's Game, probably, by Orson Scott Card. Is a classic sci-fi novel. Bog, a fen is kind of marshland or bog. Gave a red card informally. Penalized, or what would this be? Informally. Ooh, I'm not sure what the informal sort of casual way to refer to this is. Okay, keep going. Little Deuce Blank, Beach Boys hit. Little Deuce Coupe is a Beach Boys song. More piddling could be smaller or more piddling. Meeker, I don't think that's probably right. What about this? Tighten the purse strings. To save more, to be more frugal, to clam up. I don't like that. Okay, Derby or Derby participants in July. Don't know. Is this referring to a particular race, I would assume? Kentucky Derby? I don't know what happens in July. My gut says, no, you wouldn't say I hear. My gut says, I think, or I feel maybe. I'm not sure this is right. Let's try it. Racers wear. Well, with that I there, it could be bibs. If you're racing in a marathon, you wear a racer's bib with a number on it. Showmanship could be brio or what in 7 letters? Showmanship is panache or what? I can't think. Broke off. Severed as in severed ties, broke off ties with somebody. You ended a friendship. Stephen, a V for vendetta. I mean, I did see this when it came out. I honestly don't remember anything particularly in it, but I definitely know that Stephen Ray is a very commonly clued actor in the crossword because of the usefulness of the letters in his surname, so I suspect that is the answer. Do a simple calculation. To do a simple calculation is to add. To work with one's hands is to knead, as into, if you're working bread with your hands, you're kneading it. I think that's probably the answer. Oh, maybe not. This doesn't look good. Tighten the purse strings. No, okay. Either severed or knead is incorrect. Well, what about elixir? Elixir of... Is coupe definitely right? Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. Okay. Tighten the purse strings. I don't know. I'm almost inclined to remove everything I have down here because something is wrong, and I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to sort of ignore selectively just the useful letters to ignore because I don't know which they are. So I'm going to delete that all for now. But I'm going to leave these other things in because I don't have any specific reason. Oh, removing that made this apparent. Showmanship is bravura. You could say, it was a bravura performance, or it was executed with bravura, with showmanship, with those things I was saying, sort of panache, etc. Okay, you'd better not go there. Don't even. Yeah, that's what it is. Don't even, you might say. You better not go there. Okay. Okay, so work with one's hands is knead. So is this... No, this still looks like severed. That can't possibly be right. Broke off. Okay, what am I not thinking of? Broke off. Oh, no, it isn't. It's, well, I mean, it could have been, but I don't think it is because of that V. Seceded. So if a territory kind of broke off from a larger political entity, it seceded from it. There we go. Okay, so tighten the purse. Oh, cut back. We're going to cut back. We're going to spend less. We're going to tighten the purse strings. Okay. Derby participants in July. Oh, home run derby, maybe. Batters. I don't even really know what this is, but I've heard of the concept of it. So presumably you're going to have a bunch of people batting and trying to hit home runs. I don't really know what that means outside of the context of an actual game of baseball, but I'm sure it has a specific. Oh, that must mean. Does that mean hit it out of the park? I guess. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. That's the answer. I've certainly heard of that. I think it's right. Member of La Familia could be madre, maybe mother. My gut says I'd bet. There we go. It's finally coming together. More piddling is. Oh, no, it's not madre. It's padre for father, because more piddling is punier. There we go. Elixir of quietude. Okay, there we go. That is the E.B. White description of a martini. And then, gave a red card informally, DQ'd, disqualified. There we go. That's what it is. And then real gem is a keeper. Okay, that's a keeper, a real gem. And then a certain soccer kick is a toe poke. There we go. Great. And alternative to an energy drink, perhaps, is... I don't know. Alternative to an energy drink, perhaps. What would you drink to sort of... Well, I guess you don't need to drink it. I guess it could be medication or something. Alternative to an energy drink. Oh, sorry. I misspelled elixir, which is an IR, unity candle at a wedding ceremony, and then a nap for an energy drink. There we go. Okay, that was embarrassing, that misspelling, but that's it. All right. Oh, look at this. Oh, wow. Okay, so we've got our martini, the liquid itself in the glass. We have an olive. The O is the actual, represents the olive. That's nice. And then, well, no, I see. That's not the case. The olive has now been represented here with the little sort of pimento stuffing in it, stuffed in it. And then that's represented with this red dot surrounded by the green of the olive. And then the toothpick, which ends in the O of olives, is represented here. So there we've got our fully represented martini, which includes 1 part vermouth, 5 parts gin, chill with ice cube, and garnish with an olive. And I think that's all of it. That makes our martini, which James Bond famously orders shaken, not stirred, and which E.B. White described as elixir of quietude. E.B. White, the author of Charlotte's Web, I believe. Well, there we go. That was our Thursday theme. It reminds me, I've not had a martini in a little while. I should do so. And there we go. That was the Thursday Crossword. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll be back tomorrow for the themeless Friday edition of the Crossword. Oh, this reminds me, actually. Some people explained what I was missing about the theme in yesterday's Crossword. So I should credit them for that. Let's see. Because I was confused. There were all of those letters. I wasn't quite sure what they were referring to. And Shipuden Boy explains as to why these specific letters are highlighted. They are the T's in instant. Oh, right. No, that was the part I got. But someone else pointed out. Yes, here we go. Jay Squidius points out, the theme answers have homophones for the letters in the circle, where the letter has just been removed in each answer for the clue. Instant T's equals T's, the 2 T's. Purple P's equals the 2-letter P's. Bumble B's equals the 2-letter B's. And smiling eyes equal the 2-letter I's. So there we go. That was what was going on with those particular letters in the crossword, in the theme. And you know what? Since I'm here, let's read some clues from yesterday's crossword as well. Read some responses to clues. So George points out, counting tree rings in a stump or core indicates the age of the tree, each line due to the annual growth of the tree. The tree line on a mountain is the highest elevation which has conditions where trees may grow and has nothing to do with annual growth. Yes, that is true. I was aware of the tree rings bit. I was aware of the tree line bit as well, but you're right, I completely mistook it in the solve and thought, oh, it's the visual height of the trees. That's not what the tree line is, so thank you for that correction. Any Prophet points out that type A and B are the 2 personality types, but were made up in the 1950s by a cardiologist, apparently. Right, so not real psychology, claims Any Prophet. I'm sure that is debated, but not by me because I don't know anything about it. Any Prophet also points out that roasting malts makes them darker. That makes complete sense, which is why those roasted malty beers are darker, as in that yesterday. Kathleen Quinn points out regarding tea that in the U.S., especially in the South, tea refers to iced tea, or can refer to iced tea anyway. And iced tea is readily available in grocery stores in dehydrated form, so that's presumably the instant tea referred to yesterday. Kathleen Quinn also points out Paul was not numbered among the 12 disciples of Christ. Rather, he persecuted them and was a convert to the faith after the resurrection and ascension of Christ. And Tom C. adds, as such, is generally referred to as an apostle rather than disciple. That is a good point. I always mistake the distinction between the apostles and the disciples, so thanks for that. And I think, oh, here we go. One more thing. Hunter York explains acetic, the phrase acetic, or the word, comes from the Latin for vinegar, acetum, which itself derives from acere, to be sour, a common characteristic of acids. So there we go. There's the etymology there. All right. And those were some comments on yesterday's solve. And now that concludes today's video. I'll be back tomorrow for the Friday themeless puzzle, so join me then. But until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Thursday. Take care.